Practical Research 1, Module 4. Characteristics, Strengths and Weaknesses, Kinds and Importance of Qualitative Research. Our objectives are as follows. First, describe characteristics, strengths and weaknesses of qualitative research. Second, enumerate the kinds of qualitative research. Third, recognize the importance of qualitative research across fields. Qualitative research can be easily characterized by carefully observing how some research elements, such as research design, data collection procedure, and data analysis have been put into considerations. As cited from Spalding University Library 2020, these three key elements will guide the researcher to properly conduct a qualitative research study. To further understand this kind of research, its characteristics are presented as follows. First, qualitative research is naturalistic. Second, qualitative research is purposeful. Third, qualitative research is detailed. Fourth, qualitative research requires engagement and neutrality. Fifth, qualitative research follows an inductive procedure. Sixth, qualitative research is viewed in a holistic perspective. Qualitative research is naturalistic. A study to be conducted by the researcher should be based on real-life situations. Likewise, the researcher should also unfold the study in a natural manner. That is, the findings are derived from the analysis of authentic data gathered from the participants. Such a concept makes qualitative research known for its non-controlling characteristic. Qualitative research is purposeful. In conducting a qualitative type of study, the researcher should select the participants in a purposive manner. That is, they will be selected because they either have access to the information needed or simply have the knowledge to provide a great deal of information needed to the study. Hence, these participants are called information-rich in the context of research. This type of participant selection will validate the concept that qualitative study focuses on rich insights regarding the phenomenon rather than on mere numerical data simply obtained from surveys and questionnaires. Qualitative research is detailed. A thick description of gathered data from the participants makes this type of study a detailed one. It is important that the researcher should capture the direct quotations of the responses of the participants from the conducted interview or observation. Qualitative research requires engagement and neutrality. Direct contact with the people, situation, and phenomenon under investigation should be established by the researcher. Immersing oneself would enable the researcher to acquire personal experience and insights which are essential to better understand the phenomenon. Further, the researcher should also be neutral in the responses and observations he may get while engaging with the participants. The researcher should likewise show openness, sensitivity, and respect. Qualitative research follows an inductive procedure. As the researcher immerses himself in the phenomenon under investigation, specific details and data will be gathered from the target participants. These data then can be used to discover emerging patterns and themes. Following an inductive procedure, the researcher will start from exploring the phenomenon and will end to confirming findings of the works. Last characteristic of qualitative research is that it is viewed in the holistic perspective. A study in qualitative type cannot be simply done in a linear and cause and effect relationship approach. Rather, it requires the researcher to view the whole phenomenon under investigation in a complex system. That is, different variables can either cause or affect the phenomenon. These are the 6 characteristics of qualitative research. It is known that a qualitative type of research focuses more on explaining why subjects under investigation think and behave in a certain ways. With such purpose, it can be observed that there are corresponding strengths and weaknesses a qualitative research may have once it is employed by the researcher. As cited from University of Denmark Library 2020, this type of research has its strengths and weaknesses presented as follows. Strengths of qualitative research. First, qualitative research complements quantitative data. Interview and observation are the common instruments used in the conduct of a qualitative study. Such instruments can provide qualitative data that can be utilized as a support for many quantitative data appearing in a study, hence a more reliable result will be ensured. Second, qualitative research provides more detailed information to explain complex issues. Since this type of research study requires the researcher to immerse himself in the phenomenon under investigation, direct experiences can be acquired. Similarly, considering information-rich participants, as well as utilizing interview and observation as qualitative research instruments, may enable the researcher to gather more accurate data needed in explaining a complex phenomenon. Last strength of qualitative research. Qualitative research is cost efficient. A small number of participants is usually considered in qualitative research. Hence, less resources will be needed to accomplish the study. Likewise, interview schedule and observation checklists as qualitative research tools demand the researcher to spend less resources, unlike questionnaires as a primary tool utilized in quantitative research. These are the strengths of qualitative research. Let us proceed with the weaknesses of qualitative research. First, qualitative research cannot generalize the findings to the study population. The use of a small number of participants in qualitative research may result in limited responses. Thus, findings of the study might not be possibly generalized to a larger population. Replication of the study is often suggested. Second, qualitative research is more difficult to analyze. Unlike quantitative research, which deals with numeric data and can be interpreted through statistical formula, qualitative research presents non-numeric data, which are all based on the subjective responses of the participants. If data are not critically analyzed and carefully interpreted, results may become biased and even less credible. Third, qualitative research is time-consuming. Though qualitative research utilizes a small number of participants, this, however, demands the researcher to spend more time in dealing and engaging with them. Similarly, the analysis and interpretation phase of the study also requires the researcher to take more time in observing the emerging patterns and themes derived from the participants' provided data. These are the weaknesses of qualitative research. We are done discussing the strengths and weaknesses of qualitative research. Now, let us proceed with the different kinds of qualitative research. In conducting a qualitative type of research on different fields such as business, education, and medicine, etc., there are six widely used qualitative research kinds, namely phenomenological, ethnographic, grounded theory, case study, historical, and narrative. First, we have phenomenological. This kind of qualitative research focuses on subjective lived experiences of the participants in order to understand phenomenon. Here, the researcher is concerned with the feelings of the participants regarding a particular event or activity. Hence, the uniqueness of their lived situations can be described. Interview is the common instrument used for its data collection with the suggested sample size ranging from 5 to 25. Examples of phenomenological research are: a researcher aims to determine the challenges and coping mechanisms of senior high school working students in the 2nd District of Bataan. Second, a researcher aims to explain the lived experiences of the COVID-19 survivors in the province of Bataan. Next, we have ethnographic. It is a kind of qualitative research which concentrates on the study of a group of people in a particular environment. To characterize behaviors, cultures, challenges, and possible occurring themes, the researcher is required to engage himself with the participants through immersion in an extended period of time. Observation, along with the use of interview and survey, is an essential instrument for this type of study. Examples of ethnographic qualitative research: a researcher seeks to determine the cultural practices and healthcare beliefs of the ethnic group living in Bataan province. Next, a researcher seeks to characterize the survival strategies of families in an urban poor community. Next, we have the grounded theory. This kind of qualitative research intends to explain a phenomenon through developing a theory. In comparison with phenomenological study that primarily describes lived experiences, grounded theory aims to provide explanation and theory behind those lived experiences. Interview and supporting documents are the commonly used data collection instrument for its participants, approximately ranging from 20 to 30 or until data achieve saturation. Examples of grounded theory: a researcher attempts to conceptualize the breast cancer survivorship process among Bataeños. Next, a researcher attempts to generate a theory of defense mechanisms of students who experience school bullying. Next, we have case study. It is a qualitative research kind which allows the researcher to have an intensive analysis of the phenomenon. Examples are: a researcher aims to explain the causes of the reading difficulty of a grade 5 struggling reader. Next, a researcher aims to describe the language challenges of hearing impaired students in a SPED class. Next kind of qualitative research: historical. This qualitative research kind is concerned with the identification, evaluation, and synthesis of past event data. Further, it aims to understand present patterns and to anticipate future choices through clearly relating the past event data which are obtained from sources such as documents, relics and artifacts, and oral reports. Examples of historical qualitative research: a researcher attempts to explore the nature and context of the political leadership of Bataan governors. Next, a researcher seeks to explore the development in the courtship letter writing style among Bataeños. And the last common kind of qualitative research is narrative. Life accounts of individuals based on their personal experiences are typically obtained and analyzed in the conduct of this kind of qualitative research. The primary objective of the study is to extract meaningful context based on the documented experiences. Unlike phenomenological research, which focuses on describing and explaining a phenomenon through the lived experiences of the participants, narrative research focuses merely on the nature of the story told by the participants. Hence, phenomenological research may use narrative, but narrative research does not necessarily need phenomenological. Discourse analysis is one of the commonly and widely employed approaches of narrative research. Examples are: a researcher seeks to characterize the struggles faced by student athletes. Next, a researcher seeks to describe the daily teaching experiences of millennial teachers in the school's division of Bataan. These are the common kinds of qualitative research. let us end our discussion with the importance of qualitative research. Qualitative research is known for providing meaning to understand an existing phenomenon. With these, the perspectives, expressions, and activities of the participants play a vital role to unveiling the local context across different fields. The development in any field, such as in education, business, medical and health allied services, is made possible by means of qualitative research. For example, the researcher may study the experiences of individuals and their access to healthcare by determining their perspectives. These solicited responses, reflecting their experiences, attitudes, and circumstances, may help the researcher to understand the phenomenon. Hence, suggestions for improvement and development can be sought. Now that you have already explored qualitative research through its characteristics, strengths and weaknesses, kinds and importance, it's no doubt that you have already acquired important details needed for pursuing the conduct of such study, leading to a successful result. These end the discussion in qualitative research. This is my reference. Thank you.